Hi, my name's Emily Davis, and this is Two Extremes, stories about my life with bipolar disorder and how I'm occasionally trying to kick it in the ass. Today I want to talk about what depression feels like. We talk a lot about what depression is or isn't, but often those descriptions don't capture the essence of depression, I think. You can say that people with depression isolate. You can say that people with depression are low energy. You could say that people with depression often have to combat negative input, mentally speaking, or physical manifestations of their illness, such as soreness or a lethargic disposition. Those things you hear them and you can understand those words symbolically, but the experiences, that information can sometimes be far more valuable than a mere definition. So today I'm going to talk about one of my more recent depressive episodes and how it felt, what it did to me, like what were the repercussions of it, because they were significant. And hopefully somebody gets something out of it. So I would argue that 50% of the time when somebody wants to ask me, why are you depressed? I don't have an answer. And I think that's something that's important for people to understand. Many people assume that if you're depressed, it's because something bad happened, something that's really messing with your headspace in a significant way. Chronic clinical depression often has no catalyst. It just happens. Suddenly you've gone from everything being fairly upbeat and cool to just stuck in quicksand. And that happens frequently out of nowhere. The beginning of 2013 was good. Life was pretty alright. But towards the summer, things started getting a little cloudy. Something was changing in my head. And what's weird is that this often happens during the summer. Most summers, I struggle with a stint of heaviness, in the emotional, physical, mental sense. Things just feel heavy and burdensome, often during the most lively and entertaining months of the year. And this is one of those cases where I just kind of laid down one day and every morning after struggled to get up. I wasn't doing a lot musically speaking, and my belief in my abilities began to suffer because I was listening to the negative voices that often couple chronic depression. When I say voices, I don't mean I hear actual physical voices. I don't struggle with that, thankfully. But I do immediately and often feel as though negative thoughts are interjected into my headspace. Of course, that's training. You train your brain to do that over the years, and if over the years you've taught yourself to expect the worst of people, expect the worst of yourself, of your circumstances, if you can convince yourself of those things, suddenly they just become second nature to you. They're like gnats. They're like gnats that are just eating away at you, and you're like, oh! But you've been doing it so long that they've kind of formed a colony somewhere in your body, and they're reproducing, and you're like, you can't slap them off quickly enough. They just keep coming because you yourself were the architect of that colony by years of just letting those things into your head. That was my experience, not everybody's but mine. And it got to the point where I was just overwhelmed with this apathy, like deeply ingrained, unwavering apathy for everything in my life. Everything else was just, this is never going to work. Why am I doing this? I can't write songs. They all sound the same. No one's listening to them. No one likes them. I look like a goofball when I put anything out there. I talk too much. I think too little. The self-loathing got to new heights. New heights of self-loathing. Heights I didn't even think were possible. During this time, I mean, I knew that I was going through depression. I've always been aware of it. And I knew at this point in time it was a bit worse than normal. But what depression often does for me is it makes me feel as though I don't have a legitimate problem. Somebody actually responded to my last video about this, and I thought it was worth bringing up because I go through the exact same thing. Depression will tell you that it's not real. or that it's not a big deal, or that your life is good, so the reasons you're feeling this way are stupid. You are stupid for feeling this way, but you can't control it, because if it's a byproduct of mental health, sometimes it's just there no matter what you do. So that cycle of negative thinking that I had trained myself into adapting to over the years only enabled that sense of downplaying my disease, not taking it seriously, which is, if you have depression, one of the last things you should do, because sometimes it gets real bad to the point that you need to do something because it's affecting every area of your life. My solution to these feelings of worthlessness and negativity was to stop making music. For example, if you look through my videos, between the years 2013 and 2015, I put up 2 videos. That's almost 2 years. And during that time, I only played my guitar 3 separate occasions. 2 of them were for those videos. One of them was for a local show that literally nobody went to. I didn't promote it, so I mean, I can't bitch about not having an audience. And so then when the show came around and it sucked, I was like, see, I shouldn't be doing this. See, no one's here. What a waste of my time. Why am I doing this? This sucks. Or whatever. Of course, it takes time to move yourself away from that place in your own history so that you can actually look at it and go, oh, that was bullshit. Okay, that was dumb. But that's what depression can do. It really can cloud, or at least in my experience, it often clouds my more healthy ways of thinking. For the next 2 years after that, I did very little in the way of trying to fix my mental health, because I'd look at the lives around me and see plenty of heartache and misery and challenges, and I would feel as though my issues were illegitimate. Those feelings and thoughts grew to the point of unbearability in 2016. The amount of self-loathing that I had amassed over 26 years was pretty monumental, and I would get called out on it, sometimes in a joking manner, sometimes in a very, hey, dude, you were the most negative person I know. Ugh. My lack of emotional control, my lack of a handle on my mental health made me do some dumb things. And I was in this pattern of negative thinking that I excused myself. Neglecting my depression caused me friendships. It cost me relationships. It stalled my life for 2 years, and I allowed it to. Since then, I've been really trying to work hard at changing my perspective. I think it's so valuable. I remember my sister back in October or November of last year, we were sitting down having lunch with our family, and she just kind of stared at me and she was like, you're really negative sometimes, and you allow that to dictate your behavior. It's as simple as saying, no, I'm not going to think that way. I'm going to think a different way about this circumstance. I'm not going to expect the worst of it or anybody related to it. I'm going to change my perspective and just see what happens in your life. See what that does in your life. And, you know, the pessimist in me wanted to be like, you don't understand. But she's right. I've been really trying to not be negative. I've been really trying to change my ways of thinking. And when you've thought a certain way for so long, it's not easy. You have to basically reprogram how you internalize information. I've also been trying to find reasons to like myself, because for so long, the reasons that people said they liked me, I would always just go, oh no, that's whatever, I'm not, no. Even if a small part of me agreed with them in their assessment of a certain aspect of myself, I would still just be in the habit of casting that off and putting it to the side and not owning it. Aside from being treated with medication, and aside from having the support of a lot of great people, changing my perception of things and trying to find reasons to like myself have been useful. To the point where life starts to change if you just apply these things to it. Maybe you won't stop having depression. I haven't. I still experience it, and I'm on all kinds of meds, but it's more tolerable now. And when that negative thought starts to come into my head, I've been grabbing the fly swatter. I have a good friend who says in AA they have a theory about the first drink. It only takes one drink to get you drunk if you're an alcoholic, because it starts with the first drink and it goes from there. It's the same thing with negative thinking. It takes one negative thought for you to latch onto it because it satisfies some kind of inner self-pitying. And after that, it just opens the door for all these other negative thoughts to come in that stem from the first thought. Today sucks. I woke up too late because I'm a lazy piece of shit. God damn it, I'm not gonna be able to make this meeting on time. I suck. I fucking hate myself. I need to do dishes. Why are there so many dishes? Oh my god, I can't even eat anything because there's no clean plates. I hate my life. This sucks. I hate being alone. I hate everything. Yeah, that's how it works for me. You can go from one negative thought to your day is fucking ruined. And that's something that I really want to combat. I've gone through more recent depressive cycles, and I'm so fortunate that the medication I'm on, paired with these attempts at changing my perception, have really made them a bit more bearable. They still suck. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there are times where I go out and I'm in public at a function and I'm seeing aliens. People I've known for years, and I'm just kind of looking around me going, all of this is pointless. I look like a fool standing over here in the corner with my eyes like doing this and trying to fumble an excuse to leave, even though people know that I just arrived. Until the mania comes back to bite you in the ass. And that's always fun. Anyway, that's a tale about one of the more recent depressive cycles I had in years that lasted a really long time and did a lot of damage to my psyche and my spirit. I've had a lot of people since then who have helped pull me out of that mire, and I'll always be grateful to them. Next time we'll talk about mania and what it does to me. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed this second video, and feel free to comment with what you want to see in future installments of this, or if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Much love to all of you, and thank you for giving me the time of your day whenever you choose to do so. It rules, and it makes life cool, and I appreciate it. Till next time, bye.